Meow. Hey guys, I am Lag and you are my lore. In today's video, we're going to be discussing some big news. We're going to be clearing up some misconceptions from my last video, and we're going to be talking about my return to hosting AQ3D events. So stick around. Let me start by saying a massive shout out to those of you that support me over on Twitch. I stream at least 3 times a week, so go follow me over at twitch.tv/lagoflore if you want to be part of the conversation. Also, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe here on YouTube so that we can continue to grow together. Alright, so jumping right into it, let me just say that I am 100% happy that this katana is now in the game, right? We've been wanting this for about 6 months, and it feels amazing to finally have it in hand. What the community was upset about, right? And I understand that there are people that both agree and disagree with these takes, because let's look at, where is the Twitter poll, right? On do you think the RNG grind for the new katana was a bit too ridiculous or not? Now I understand that this is split, right? We have people that both agree and disagree, right? So what the community was upset about was that this came across as a slap in the face. Why? It's not because we don't understand how progression in MMORPGs work, or inherently how MMORPGs in and of themselves work, but because it didn't feel like our 25-day grind for the Sun Fury, it didn't feel like it was worth anything, because it was replaced with something that was released quote unquote broken, that needed to be fixed, as a side quest based RNG based standstill, can't play with your friends kind of 4-hour grind. Now, I'm not going to go too much into detail on that. The solution is, and the solution that was presented by the majority of the community, or the majority of people that I engaged in discussion with, would be to have some sort of fail-safe mechanism. The middle ground is to have some sort of fail-safe mechanism in place with RNG grinds. So like if you do 500 runs or kill something 1,000 times, you should have enough materials to craft whatever the item is. I'm not gonna go too much more into that, so if you want to check that out, here is a link to the last video, which is a 2-hour long discussion with Clarion, Sifino, Helimod, Mads, myself, and a couple other people. So check that out here. Now that that's cleared up, let's get to the big news. All right, since the fallout in May, and that is what we will call it from now on, things have been kind of up and down. But if one thing has been consistent, it has been the outcry of the community with respect to communication and transparency, right? I mean, just look at how much I've been crying over social media and in videos for communication and transparency, right? And that's the thing. Until we get better communication, I am determined to keep asking for it in a polite way, of course, just because it is something they said that they would be committed to doing, right? Don't say you're going to do something if you're not going to do it. That's just my thing about it. If you didn't say you're going to if you didn't say you were going to be committed to better communication, then I would have no grounds to say, yo, where is the better communication? All right? So anyway, I am getting sidetracked. So exactly what happened? Well, this happened. And let's read, shall we? So this was Adventure Quest 3D Special Weekend Report, posted on Friday, June 17th. I know I'm 2 days late, but I've been having internet issues. Has nothing to do with the fact that my name is Lag. So, we've been screaming for communication. And now, we have a novel's worth of better communication. Right? We have a novel's worth of better communication. I'll leave a link to this in the description below so that you can peruse it on your own time, but let's go through it here, right? So, the novel's worth of better communication. Hey guys, been crazy couple of weeks. From the great lab plague of 2022, a lab-wide power outage, to Zoom growing a goatee. Alright, cool. So let's get started, right? They want to talk about progress. So, the great plague of 2022. I know they had issues where everybody got sick, and he just copied and pasted that from the Adventure Quest Worlds Unity mobile post, and that's fair. So what happened was everybody got sick basically, and his water heater blew out. All right, so we're not gonna take this first part apart too much. We're just going to acknowledge, well, the word coffee, and like hope that the team is feeling better, hope that Artix himself is feeling better, so that they can get back to, everyday life, right? Because at the end of the day, these are people too. They have lives, livelihoods, and families. So really hope that everybody is on a path to becoming well again, and that things return to some sort of normalcy. Anyways, moving on. So the Nulgath saga. So one of the most highly anticipated and upcoming stories is the Nulgath saga. And yes, this was teased since September of last year. Do I still have that tweet? Do I want to do this? Yes, here it is. So if you don't believe me, here it is. This set was designed by Dage and gives a pretty big clue as the theme for our next saga. This was September 24th, 2021. So they've been teasing us with this since September of last year. But I digress. So, like we did with Ashfall and the Dragon Slayers, they really wanted to put an interesting spin on Nulgath's saga. And now he's being 100% transparent. They had at least one team member that absolutely refused to work on it. I'm not sure why. Somebody didn't want to work on Nulgath Saga, but that sounds like an internal issue to me. I guess we'll see. I mean, I have no I didn't play through AQW, so I have no idea what the Nulgath Saga is supposed to be about, other than a couple YouTube videos, that I happened to discover. So let's move on. While we do not touch on any religious or political subject matter in AQ3D, it certainly delves into a gray area. I guess we'll see where that goes. This is, what is the rating on AQ3D again? It's not important at this point, because that's a talk. That is discussion for another video. So the first area of the the first area of the Nulgath saga is the Celadon Forest. It is a red and creepy featuring new music. Cool, cool. Alright, second part is a series of dungeon adventures. And then we had the bad timing of the plague. So originally they said that part 1 and 2 would be released together. And basically what this is saying is that nope, we're not gonna. Alright, so originally they said part 1 was being worked on, then they said they delayed part 1 to put part 1 and 2 together, so that we would have a complete release, and that was the justification for why part 1 was delayed. And now the whole lab plague happened, and that is the reason why they're now splitting it back into part 1 and 2, and we're now going to get an extended edition. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but I guess I am happy that we have some sort of communication, because we've been asking, if something comes up, at least let us know, so we won't be expecting a date for something. We won't be saying, all right, the 20th of June this was supposed to come out, and it didn't come out, and then we heard nothing from them and they just left us to wonder. This is them not leaving us to wonder. So take that as you may. New classes. There are 17 classes we wrote on the board that we really want to make somewhat easier to build than others. Alright, so they have two classes re-envisioned that they wanted to release with the Sansi Saga, and everything is subject to change. Of course everything is subject to change. This is AQ3D, what do you expect? They have one coda almost dedicated to the class. Samurai is the furthest along, so we can check out the preview of it in the other post. Yeah, the Samurai does look a little cool. I am happy to have a new class. And again, I'm happy that they are talking to us about things. Skull Punch Island Caldera Challenge. Now this is where things get interesting, because this is where a lot of the communication issues happen. And from what Arctic said when he was in game, and a lot of people were around when he said it, is that when they made that fix, the people that made the fix did not communicate it to the marketing guys. They just went ahead and make the fix, So the people that were in charge of communicating did not know or something, and they were unable to put out a post, right? And he is addressing this here. Yeah, so the following week the mechanic was fixed to work as intended, but this is where the real problem started. So there is a specific strategy to beating the boss. The players who first experience the boss without the strategy being needed were in for a pretty big shock. Now, that is not entirely accurate, right? I mean, if you did a better job on your tutorial, then everybody would know how to play the release. But I digress. The key to fighting the boss is to tilt the platform. Without knowing this, the boss sure does feel unbeatable, and communication on this change was already really bad because half the team was sick and the coders thought they were just patching a bug to intended gameplay. In future, we must do a mini news post here to explain situations like this. High five, because that is what we have been asking for. That is what we have been, that is what we have been asking for. I am satisfied. All right, moving on. The main storyline, just prior to our onslaught of problems, had been involved in outlining the revamped main storyline. Dage and the team have worked on art revamp to many characters. This is going to be highest priority once Nulgath Saga is up and running. Alright, so they're going to give us stuff to play and then give us quality of life fixes, which is, again, more things that we have been asking for. So my vision for the main storyline is to run it between sagas. That is, every time you complete a saga and light up the portal in the center of the town, you'll be able to proceed to the next part of the main story with Vayne and his void horrors. Interesting enough, Vayne will become useful once again. So we're going to have intro revamp number 999. Along with the revamp meme storyline, we'll once again need to adjust the intro. Well, I hope they don't take too many resources for that, but looking forward to see how things progress. Unreleased items. The Cosmic Cutter from this week's release was an unreleased item from an older release. There's been a lot of call for the release of some items that did not make their releases. This includes a bunch of unreleased fancy stuff. High five again. Win for the community. Let's just put that back up on screen. This is, some people might say it's a small win, but I think this is a massive win for the community. This, because we asked for it, we've been waiting for 6 months, and now we have it in hand. And the reason this is a massive win is not just because it's just a one-off item, but because this is the beginning of the release of the unreleased items. It is the beginning of change. Unity 2022 upgrade, that doesn't interest me. Hunting for a programmer, hackers / DDoS. I'll let you guys read that on your own. Level cap. Throughout the Nulgath Saga, the level cap will slowly rise to 40. This is where the big challenge fights will start, and there will be new capstones. Now, I really hope they take all of the feedback that we've put into, or that we've given rather, on capstones and how the capstones were treated at the end of the Sansi Saga, especially with this new level cap, level 36. I hope they've taken all of that feedback into account, because if they have not, as they say in my country, you can bet your bottom dollar that they will hear about it if they disrespect our time again. The Lucia Part 4. They Talk Like a Pirate Day finale. Alright, a former AQ3D writer returned to write the finale of Lucia. It's pretty big, possibly too big to do correctly in time for Talk Like a Pirate Day. Just being transparent, we have two options. Attempt number 1 to do the super big release, or number 2, do a samurai themed release for Talk Like a Pirate Day, and move Lucia after Mogloween when we will have a bit more time. So I'm not sure which one I would prefer. You can let me know in the comments down below. What do you feel? I could get a Twitter poll up and running so we can, help give them some feedback on this. 20th anniversary. Mogloween is the favorite time of year for many, and this one is going to be extra special. This October, AE will be celebrating the 20th anniversary. We are plotting something fun for AQ3D to do alongside other games. It's scary how fast it's approaching. I mean, we are in June, so it's not necessarily fast, but I guess when you have a lot of things planned to work on, it can seem like it's right around the corner. I hope you enjoyed this novel length update. Thank you for reading all the way to the end. So question, how sharp does a katana need to be to cut through the cosmos? Because that's how sharp the item that was just released in AQ3D is. Okay. Now that we've gone over that, I'd like to revisit this tweet where Autix asked us to come back to the game and my response to his tweet. So there's about 2 weeks left until the end of quarter two, but I think I've seen enough at this point to make my decision. And it is not a decision that I've made lightly. So let's put things into perspective, shall we? We've had what I would consider to be two wins for the community in the last week or so. We saw a start to the inclusion of the unreleased items that we've been asking for, and we saw a start to an attempt at better communication. Now, is this enough? Should we be satisfied? I want to go ahead and say no, but that wouldn't be entirely fair, now would it? I give credit where credit is due, and I'm willing to meet them halfway. Should I have to? No. Will it help if I do? There's only one way to find out. And my reasoning for this is simple. Look at what we've accomplished in the past month. Now, ask yourself, is this worth giving up at this point? My mind is made up and I will continue to represent and be a voice for the community, even if the opinions differ from my own, for as long as I can. We haven't seen many events since the fallout, and that also weighs kind of heavy on my conscience, right? Take this as my official stance on the matter, because that overrides most of my previous iterations of it. I am going to start hosting events again because AQ3D is a game that, despite not having housing, is a game that most of us call home. There are a lot of unfulfilled promises left to address. There are a lot of issues with the game itself, but that doesn't mean that we have to put everything on hold while we deal with the important issues. Time. Our time on this earth is limited. Let us enjoy of it what we can with those that we hold dear. Let's make memories to last a lifetime. If hosting events is able to bring joy to even one person in the community, then I will do it. I don't just mean AP related events either. I mean we're going to bring back, when we say we're going to bring back events, we're going to bring back grinding events as well, for those of you who may not be able to find a party or who have an item that you really want to get in an area that you can't easily get it, or if you just want the company. Let's work together while enjoying the game. Let's continue to work together as a community to push for the changes within the game and for the push for the company to start acknowledging and valuing the time and effort that we as players put into the game, put into supporting their game, put into supporting their company, put into essentially supporting them. Let us push towards getting that done, but let us do it together while having a good time. So this video has gone on long enough. I think I've said everything that I needed to say. So until next time, stay safe, be happy, and meow.